will feel great after you do that. Trust me. So this is indeed a rational equation. And like any rational equation, how do I start?
I know that you find a least common denominator and that
The starting point, number one, the restrictions. Before I touch anything, I have to write that x cannot be -2 and x cannot be 3. This is my first thought. It makes my life easier later. I don't have to go back and check in the whole thing. I'll look here. In number 2, I will move everything to one side. If you are using my method, you are not forced. No one forces you to use my method. But if you are using my method, please do that. So 3 over x plus 2 plus 4 over x minus 3 minus 20 over x plus 2 x minus 3. And if you forget to write the equal symbol and 0, the whole thing from here will be wrong. If you forget to do that. Any questions so far? Okay, and the next step, yes, I find the LCD. Can anyone give us the LCD?
X plus 2 and x minus 3.
Great job. If you forget about the adjustments, then the whole thing will collapse. This one was this denominator was multiplied by this. I have to multiply the numerator by the same quantity. What it does not have, it has to be multiplied. I have to multiply the top by it. What this one doesn't have is x plus 2, so I have to multiply the top by x plus 2. But this one has the same thing, so I don't have to do anything. You don't even have to write anything if you don't want to. But now I have to distribute 3x and minus 9. Now I'm distributing positive 4x plus 8, and minus 20. Any questions so far? At this point I combine like terms and I get 7x. So this is -1 with minus 20, -21. And I divide by x plus 2, x minus 3 equals 0. And remember, let's write the note one more time here. A fraction, this is a fraction, equals 0 only if, can anyone tell us only if what? Only if it's, say it again.
I said only if the denominator is 0.
God forbid. That can never happen. Ever. We are in big trouble if the denominator is 0. Big trouble. So if I have 5 divided by 0, that's a big issue, big trouble, undefined. So that will never be the case. So one more time, a fraction equals 0 only if it's if it's not the denominator, then what else can it be?
If it's not the denominator, then it has to be the numerator.
Absolutely, by elimination. Very good. Very good. A fraction equals 0 only if its numerator equals 0. Good. So 7x minus 21 is 0, x equals 3.
Real quick, why did you multiply the 20
I also mentioned you don't have to write anything if you don't want to. It's the same denominator. You don't have to make any adjustments.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
If you feel like writing something because of uniformity, write 1. But you don't have to write anything.
All right. So pretty much it just stays the same.
Because it's the same denominator.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to multiply the numerator by anything because I did not change the denominator. If I change the denominator like here, I changed x minus 3 into this product. I have no choice. I have to multiply the top by the same quantity. But since here I don't change the denominator, it's the exact same denominator, then I cannot change the numerator. So, what does this mean? What do we conclude?
No solution.
Very good. No solutions. That's why we did this from the very beginning. Because the denominator can never be 0. So a fraction can be 0 only, or will be 0 only if the numerator is 0. Good, I'm glad we went over this because I thought that that was clear.
I have a question.
Yes. Hold on just 1 second. Asia, are you here? Okay, sorry. I just saw the 2 messages. Okay, got it. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Very good. I was doing the 2.1 homework,
Yes?
and I was lost on like what determine like what it, like they give you points on the homework, and they ask you if it's a function or a relation.
Okay,
And
very good.
some equations just I don't know, they didn't make sense.
Very good. So can you give it to me? That's what I expect from everyone, to bring to class questions from everywhere. Book,
Gotcha.
book, homework, our class from last time, everywhere. So I can answer your questions. Yes, can you give it to me?
Somebody else can ask a question. I'm gonna get it right now.
Okay,
Can I see that paper real quick?
of course. Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Alright,
Anyone else? Which one is our next question?
So we do the square root property on the old test.
The square root property. Yeah, what do you mean? Which number is that?
That's number 2. That's number 2.
Sorry, I went to an email because I saw 2 emails to make sure that everyone is in, so I have 1 more second to open it again. Okay, problem 2. Oh, yeah. So this is 3. X plus 7 squared equals 36. So obviously, always remember, simplify and factor. These should be in the back of your mind at all times, and maybe I should put that in here. Yes. Remember. So I can torture you with this too. I'm kidding. Simplify, factor. Okay, so how do I simplify? Of course I want to get rid of this, because I realize that it's 3 and 36 have a common factor, so I will divide by 3. So x plus 7 squared, and I get here 12. Now, obviously I'm not going to square this and move 12, which I could, but it's a long way. Why? There is no need for that. I apply the square root. I know that this is quadratic. Quadratic means 2 solutions. If I forget that, I may forget to put plus or minus in front. So x plus 7 equals plus or minus. On the side, let's talk about the square root of 12. which is the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. That's why it becomes 2 the square root of 3. So this is 2 the square root of 3, and I have to move 7, but it has to be between the equal symbol and plus or minus. So that x equals negative 7 plus or minus 2 the square root of 3. And this is final. You have time between now and Tuesday to rewatch all those videos. Scroll to that particular problem. Look at the lecture notes. All these lecture notes are posted after class in a folder that I showed you. I can show it to you again. Go through the problems and say, oh, I want to see this one again, and then go forward and backwards on the video to see the steps for what you are interested in. You don't have to rewatch everything. So I highly recommend that, and you will be very happy, and you will make me very happy. So I don't want to, I know I sound like a broken record. You can call me that. I'm fine. I will do anything for my students to understand the material and master it and get good grades. I'll do anything. So with the expense of looking stupid sometimes. I just want to share my screen for a moment with you. Again, I'm not trying to, so if you allow me just 1 second, I'll come back in 1 second. I just want to show you in my intro, I put what my students say about me. I mean, you can imagine I have probably 10,000 pages of what students say about me. But this is what I got in the spring from Victoria. And I just want to read one sentence for you, one paragraph. I would like to pass on a bit of advice to your students, if I may. You can read what she thinks about me, but that's not important right now. Making time to review the class recordings is very important, even if you feel as though you paid close attention in class. Take the time to redo the problems that were discussed in class on your own. Do them until you do not have to rely on any of your class notes. Ask questions if you're not fully understanding, so on and so forth. Reviewing and studying for a few hours a day will assure that you understand all of the material and you feel confident to move on to the next step. Show up for class, believe in yourself, etc. and so on. So that's all I wanted to show you. And this is how she studied. And she started very low in the class. And she ended up doing extremely well. Okay? Sorry about that. I didn't want to interrupt. But coming from a colleague, maybe this is better than just me running my mouth on the same thing over and over. Enough of that. Thank you for your attention. Yes. Next question. Anything? Aaron, did you find it? Aaron, are you with us? Okay. I hope he didn't fall asleep. Okay, moving on. Which problem are we working on? Anyone? Okay, I'll start 2.5.
Can we do number 4 on the old test?
Okay, it's okay. I was not going to do that. I needed someone to say something. Yes, number 4. So we have x to the third plus 3x squared equals 49x plus 147. This should immediately ring a bell because it's 4 terms and it's also degree 3 and 3 solutions. This is what you should write on your scratch paper right away when you see this equation. Because when you see 4 terms, immediately it should come back grouping. So if you take the time between now and Tuesday and redo, you will be very happy, I promise you. Good. So then I move everything to one side, set it equal to 0, and factor by grouping. X to the third plus 3x squared minus 49x minus 147, and I'm using my prop. And of course, factoring by grouping, what do? From the first 2, I pull out.
X squared.
Very good. And what is left? Very good. X plus 3. What should I have in here? If I don't, I'm stuck. I can't continue.
X plus
X
3.
plus 3.
And now I look. I need a sign, mandatory, and a factor,
Minus 49.
of course. You can check. Negative 49 times x is this. Negative 49 times 3. Where is my calculator? I just needed to have it handy just in case we need it. Okay, is lost. So I'm going to use my 86. So 49 multiplied by 3, it has to be 147, and it is. Good. So now the common factor is x plus 3. And in parentheses, what do we have?
X squared minus 49.
Right. But remember, x squared minus 49 can be continued to factor. Can be factored. Yes. So we have x plus 3, x plus 7, x minus 7 equals 0. And remember, 3 solutions. And here they are. X equals negative 3, x equals negative 7, x equals 7. Next question.
I got my question.
Yes,
Alright, so,
Erin is back.
yeah,
Good. Yes, I'm ready.
x squared plus y squared equals 144. Is it a function
Okay.
or a relation?
Okay. So we had examples like this. So if you go back to the video, we said that we have to solve for y. So then I have y squared equals negative x squared plus 144. And like we just did a few minutes ago, I have to apply the square root. So then if you forget that this is plus or minus the square root of negative x squared plus 144, then you will say that it's a function. But obviously it's not a function. It's only sufficient to show for x equals 0, the square root of 144 is 12, but I have plus or minus. So I have two options, y equals 12 and y equals negative 12. Therefore, not a function.
So there's two x's that have one y solution. Basically.
No. There is sufficient to show that one x corresponds to two different y values. X equals 0 corresponds to 12 and negative 12. And this is a relation.
Yeah, I just mixed it up.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Perfect. Good. Next question.
I got one more. So, when you're factoring,
Yes?
you know how you like, okay, so, here's an example. I don't know, it's like x squared, something, like 3x squared plus, I don't know, 3x, and like the last term, it just somehow doesn't work out. You can't like make two parentheses solutions for it, and you have to multiply the 3x with the third thing,
So, something like this?
and it creates a polynomial, right? Is there still 3 solutions to that?
If the degree is 2, there will always be 2 solutions. If the degree is 3, 3 solutions. If the degree is 5, 5 solutions. Some of them may be the same. Some of them may be real, some of them imaginary, but still the degree dictates.
Yeah, that was my only question, whether it had 3 solutions to it.
Okay. Yes, it depends on the degree. Good, next